Hey guys, how we doing today? This is Wally again with LearningNet.com. In today's video tutorial, we're going to be doing a brief Hostgator WordPress review. I'm going to be showing you how to install WordPress on Hostgator and help you to create a simple WordPress blog or website for your brand. If you guys are new here to this channel for LearningNet.com, hit the subscribe button, guys, right below along with the bell, and that way any future videos that I put up, you'll be sure to receive them. So I've been online, guys, for a few years, and during this time, I've been able to create different WordPress websites using various web hosting platforms. And today we're going to be using HostGator. The very first thing that you're going to need when you create a website online is web hosting. And web hosting, guys, if you don't really know or understand what that is, if you're a total beginner online, it's basically buying or renting out space on a computer that runs 24/7, 365 days a year, that stores all of your files, your images, all of your content that you're going to be publishing, on your website itself. The next thing that you're going to need is a domain name, and that's what you're going to call your website itself. In my case, it's learnernet.com. It's very simple. It doesn't have any dashes or hyphens or nothing crazy like that in the domain name itself. It's just very simple, just like, other common domain names like HostGator.com, there's Google.com, eBay, Amazon, all of which are simply domain names or URLs. And so when you combine the two, your domain name along with your web hosting, then essentially you can have or create a website online that people can actually visit. So you need both of those things. And I just take a few moments out just to talk about those things. That way you understand why is it that we're using HostGator in this case to do it. So WordPress, guys, is simply a software, if you will. It's open source, and it means that different contributors have helped to make WordPress what it is. The awesome thing about WordPress is that you can do a lot of things that don't require any experience with HTML. You don't need experience with coding. Another awesome thing about creating, websites online, using WordPress is that you'll gain access to what are called plugins. And these WordPress plugins give your website functionality. They allow your website to do things that it wouldn't be able to do without them. Similar to apps, on your phone. Like you may have an app that measures, how many steps, you take a day. You may have an app, if you're on a diet to measure like how many, keep count of like calories of different foods that you're eating. You get the picture, right? So we use apps on our phone, and we don't want to have too many apps on our phone because it could make our phone run, a little bit slower, malfunction. And the same is true with WordPress plugins. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those, but I want you to think about that right now. That way, when we get to that point in this WordPress tutorial, you guys can think about some of the functions that you would like your website to do. Some people might want websites that have like a chatting feature. Sometimes you arrive to a website and you may see like a representative a pop-up, and the representative may say something like, can I help you? Have you ever seen that, guys? Likely you have. There are plugins that allow you to do just that, and they're 100% free. They're WordPress plugins that help you to also secure your website, which is extremely important. Security, especially in this day and age with websites being hacked or bombarded with malware and spam. There are WordPress plugins that allow you to secure your website 24/7, 365 days a year, to help it to stay protected from harm. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and also to help you guys in this tutorial to pick out a WordPress theme that really represents you and your brand. You guys will notice if you've been to my website at learnernet.com, I have a very simple, layout there. It's nothing, extravagant, and that's just for me. I like simplicity, but you may be into maybe fitness, maybe you're into SEO or marketing or construction or CPA or whatever it is that you do. You can always find a WordPress theme that'll help you guys to really define what it is that you want to promote online. Okay, great. So that's a little bit of an overview, if you will, of many of the things that you're going to learn on this HostGator WordPress tutorial. Okay, so as I mentioned before, guys, you absolutely need web hosting to be able to put your website online, and to do that, there's a link right below. It's the very first link in the descriptions portion of this video. It is an affiliate link. If you use it, you will get 60% off today on your web hosting services, but also may receive credit for the referral itself. And again, it allows me on this channel for LearningNet.com, guys, to provide you with 100% free tutorials. That way, you guys don't have to go out there and pay somebody hundreds or even thousands of dollars just to learn some of the simple steps that I'm going to teach you today in this video review. So if you guys want to learn how to create a WordPress blog or website on Hostgator, start by clicking on the link that's right below. And once you click on that link, guys, it's just going to open up in another tab, just like the one that you're seeing right now on this screen. And from that point, you're just going to be prompted to choose your web hosting itself. So to do that, you notice that Hostgator has different types of web hosting. There's shared hosting, there's WordPress hosting, there's dedicated, there's VPS. If you're a beginner online, guys, you don't need VPS or dedicated hosting, because that's really for higher volume websites that need more resources online, and you need your own space. I recommend that if you're a total beginner online, that you stick with what's called shared hosting itself. It's very cheap. And you might think that, we're creating a WordPress website. Why don't we use WordPress hosting? WordPress hosting, guys, in short, just has a lot of bells and whistles that beginners may not need in the beginning. And so for that reason, I just recommend using shared hosting. One, it's cheaper, and you'll save a lot more money, which we all want to do when it comes to starting like an online business or creating a website online. So with Hostgator, guys, there are 3 plans that you can select from. They're very simple, not complicated. The Hatchling plan allows you to create just one website online, whereas the Baby and Business plans allow you to create unlimited websites. The real difference between the Baby and Business is that obviously the business plan comes with a few more perks, with it, some upgrades that are there, but I think that if you are like an affiliate marketer, network marketer, and you just have like several projects online that you want to accomplish online, the Baby plan should be ideal for you. That's in fact the plan that I'm using and that we're going to be using in this video tutorial. Okay, so what you want to do, guys, is you want to just select the web hosting package that you feel will be best for you. Again, if you just want to create one website, this is going to be your very first website online, go with the Hatchling plan. It's the absolute best plan to do that. But you won't be able to create multiple websites with the Hatchling plan. It's ideal for beginners. It's great to create one single website online. Or you can go with the Baby or Business plan, whichever of these two that you prefer, and that way you'll be able to add on going forward, okay? And I'm going to show you guys in this tutorial how to add on domains. That way you know how to do it, going forward, okay? Does that sound like a plan? Great. So what you want to do right now, I'm going to select the Baby plan and I click on Buy Now. So click on Buy Now right now. And by the way, guys, you should know that Hostgator has a 45-day money-back guarantee. A lot of web hosting providers out there only offer 30 days. And 30 days is not bad, but you get more time to select or really to determine if this is for you or not. The very first step after you select your web hosting, as I told you guys in the beginning, is you're going to be selecting a domain name. Now, the cool thing about Hostgator is that when you get started today, guys, you get a free domain for your very first year. Typically, domain names at places like GoDaddy, for example, very popular platforms for domain name registrars. Domains typically run about $17. They could run $17 to $20, even more, just depending on the top level domain that you select. So with .coms, I prefer buying .com domains itself. Usually what I'll do is I will purchase the domain name somewhere else, Namecheap in particular, because they're just super cheap there. And I'll just point them to the domain name, the web hosting provider that I'm actually using. So typically what I'll do is I'll buy the domain name first, and that's just my personal preference. And then I'll point the domain to the name servers of the web hosting provider that I'm using. And so in this case, it's a Hostgator. So if you have a domain name somewhere else, what you're going to do is select this option where it says I already own this domain. You're going to plug in that domain right here. And once you do that, you're going to drop down where it says choose a hosting plan. Choose a hosting plan. And we've selected the baby plan, but if you want to change it, you change your mind, just click the drop down and you'll just click hatchling if that's what you want. Or if you want to try the business plan, all you do is you simply use the drop down that's right there. You'll see where it says billing cycle. So the way HostGator's billing cycle works, guys, you have several options that you can select from. You have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. I recommend personally buying more web hosting up front because it'll save you more money on the front and back end if you're really serious about your business itself. If you just have a short project that only lasts for a few months, then you can select from one of these and you'll pay less money perhaps on the front end. But again, if you were to renew it, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, guys. And so I just recommend that you select one of these that are right here, just depending on your personal needs. So from that, you guys are going to drop down where it says enter your billing info, and you're going to just plug in your name, your credit card if you want to use that. I personally use PayPal. So once you get to the very end, you're going to be prompted to log into your PayPal account, where you there will purchase your web hosting, and it's all done through PayPal if that's what you prefer. Okay, guys? Great. So when you do that, the very bottom, you'll see some additional add-ons, all of which are 100% optional. You do not need nor have to purchase these in the checkout process itself. It's totally up to you if you want it. This option right here, the very first one, is for SSL certificates. You can get this option if you want, but today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install a free SSL certificate, okay? So you can save $3.33 per month today by not checking this. So don't check this. The next option is for SiteLock, which provides additional security to protect your website from malware and malicious attacks, which is something that you do need. But there are WordPress plugins that allow you to do that very same thing, and they're 100% free. So you guys know what I'm going to say. Uncheck that. Great. So all of these are just upsells. HostGator has quite a few upsells, and you're going to see some, going forward. But I'm going to tell you guys that you don't need any of their upsells. All you need is your basic web hosting plan itself. This right here for professional email, you don't need that. You can set up email with like Gmail, with Google. It's free. This right here is for CodeGuard itself, which provides basically backups of your website. Yes, you do need backups for your website, but you don't have to pay for it. WordPress, the software that we're going to be using to create the actual website or blog today, provides that for you for free. The very last option, guys, is for like SEO services that HostGator provides. They're $2.95 per month, billed annually at $35.40. Again, these are SEO tools that help to index your website and help people to find you online. But you guys guessed it, you don't really need that because there are WordPress plugins. One in particular that we're going to install today called Yoast that does all of this for you for free. Okay, so as you can see, guys, I'm looking for the best way to save you guys the most money. That's what this is about. It's not simply just getting you to sign up through my affiliate link, but I simply want to help you to not only save money on the front and back end, but also want to help you to create the website and get the most out of it. So if you guys like that, hit the like button right now. Drop a comment right below. I really appreciate your feedback on this Hostgator WordPress tutorial. So again, I wanted to mention that Hostgator has a 45-day money-back guarantee. What that means is that if you are not content or you feel that HostGator is not for you, you can contact their customer support. They have 24/7, 365-day customer support by phone. There's email, there's chat, and you can always request your money back. So HostGator is a super reliable web hosting provider, and for that reason, I've selected them to show you guys today how to create a WordPress blog. Okay. All right, great. So now that that's out of the way, you guys will see your the amount due, for checkout that you can either do with your credit card or you can do with PayPal, either or, whichever you prefer. What you're going to do right here is click on the very bottom where it says you have read and agreed to HostGator's auto renewal terms. And for this reason, guys, I wanted you guys to buy more web hosting up front, because if you only purchase web hosting for, like 6 months or a year, when it renews, it's going to be more expensive. So it's actually cheaper to buy more of it. And that way, when it renews, you guys will be saving a lot of money. So basically, you're just agreeing that, HostGator will be able to, charge you whenever your web hosting itself renews. Okay, great. So the very next step you want to do, guys, is click where it says check out now. And when you do that, immediately you're going to receive some credentials to your email that you provided at sign up. And HostGator is going to send you an account username, and you're going to get also a password, both of which will be used to log into your cPanel or your control panel. It's going to log you in to your dashboard where you can see the back end of your actual account itself, and then you'll have access to your cPanel. And that's what we're going to do right now, guys. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on my very next page, because I'm already logged into it right now. So basically, guys, once you click on checkout now, HostGator is going to set up your account for you. Okay, they're going to set up your account for you, and then you're going to be automatically directed over to your login right here. And if you get lost somewhere in the mix of this, all you want to do, guys, is just open up a separate browser, type in portal.hostgator.com. And once you do that, you'll be able to log into this very page that I have right here. And again, you're going to have a username and a password that HostGator is going to send to you. Okay, so once you guys get logged into this, next step in this process is to now install WordPress on the domain name that you just purchased. To do that, what you want to do is, if you're logged into the back end of your website, which we are right now, you're going to see this tab over here. It says Install WordPress. So we're going to click on that. And once we do that, guys, the very next screen that pops up, you're going to see this. And what you want to do is click on Install Now. Great. So the next thing that you want to do, where it says Choose Installation URL, here you're going to select the domain name that you want to install WordPress on. So whatever the domain name itself that you got started with, or that you purchased from HostGator, you are going to select it from the drop down. Okay, so the very next thing that you're going to do, where it says site name, what I'm going to be typing in is WP Hosting 101. That's what I'm going to call the site name. So whatever your site name is, that's what you're going to type in there. And right here where it says site description, this is going to be a tagline. And so basically what you're going to have here, guys, is an overall description. It's a brief description that tells your visitors what your website is about. So I'm going to create one here. I'm going to call it Simple Tips to Create WordPress. I'm going to type in something like this: Simple Tips to Create WordPress Websites Online, something like that. So whatever the overall theme or topic of your website or your business, that's what's going to go under site description. It's just like a little description to help your visitors know what your website is about. Okay. All right, great. So the very next thing that you want to do is drop down to where it says admin username. And what you're going to do here, guys, is you're going to type in a admin username. Now this username specifically here will allow you access to the back end of your website. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. It's going to allow you to log in to the individual website that you're creating. This is not the user name that you got from HostGator. to log into your account. This is simply to log into the website that you're creating. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select WP hosting. That's what I'm going to use as mine, but it's tutorial 101. And now you want to enter a password in here. Now, what I recommend you to do is to select a password that is, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 characters. You include some numbers in there, and that way it'll make it extremely difficult for anyone to guess it. You don't want to use anything crazy like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nothing like that. You want to make it difficult for people to guess it, online, okay? If that makes sense. So right here, what you're going to do where it says admin email, this is the email that you're going to use for WordPress to contact you. Let's say you get locked out of your WordPress website. You need to regain entry. Well, WordPress is going to send you an email to this particular email that you set up. And you can use any email that you want, guys. It just needs to be an email that works, it's active, and it's one that you check. And that way you can receive any communications or updates from WordPress regarding your website itself, okay? Now, let's suppose that you guys speak another language besides English. Like in my case, I speak English, speak French, Creole, and Spanish. I've learned a little bit of Russian, but I wouldn't say it's my language. I just really love languages, and so those are the languages that I love. So French, Spanish, Creole. So if you wanted to put your website, when you log in or any communications that you get from WordPress, if you wanted them to appear in another language, you can see this drop down and you guys can select, Spanish, or you can select, any language here that you want to. So if I wanted to see any communications from WordPress in French, that's how I would receive it, right? So it's pretty cool that you can actually change that, but by default, it's always at English, okay? Great. So what you want to do right now, guys, is you want to drop all the way down. And this is a cool part right here because right here, Hostgator is going to give you access to some really nice themes. They're like premium style themes itself. And if you want to see like what one looks like, simply just click on it and you can get a demo of what the website, would look like itself, okay? And that way, if you wanted to select this theme and actually use it for your WordPress website, then you could very well do that. So this is a really, really nice theme itself, right? That we could very well go with if we wanted to. And obviously, what you would have to do is just, if you have like your personal pictures, you guys can upload your pictures there and your own content, and boom, you guys have, a website on the fly, okay? And if you some other themes itself that they have here, simply what you would do is just click on it. And if you guys want to use that theme again, you can see right here what it would look like itself, right? And if you actually want to see the website, an actual demo of the website itself, you can do that by just clicking on where it says demo. And again, you can see what that particular theme would look like. I don't really like this one right here. So I'm not going to use that, okay? But I just wanted to show you guys, how this works. So, you'll see right here, guys, that you have some options. You can scroll through. There's some other ones that are here. There's one about ice cream. Makes me want ice cream right now. This is one about drones. If you have, like a business talking about that. Some really nice themes right here. And also, guys, once we actually get the actual website, set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to, switch your themes around. If you want to use like a different theme, you're going to be able to switch and change it up as often as you want. Okay. All right, great. So now what you're going to do right here is you're going to type in your actual email address. And that way you're going to do this again. And the reason you're going to be doing it because once you install WordPress on this particular domain name with this theme itself, you're going to get a confirmation of it to your email. So that's what we're going to do right here. Great, guys. So once you enter your email and you click on the install button, It's going to take just a few moments for WordPress to be installed on this domain name itself. And again, guys, this is what you would do if you were creating, WordPress website from the get-go. You have your domain name, you have your web hosting. If you have like the baby plan or the business plan, simply what you would do is just add on another domain, and you can follow these very same steps. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys more about how this works. So basically, once WordPress is installed on your actual domain name itself, you're going to see your admin URL right here. And this is the very URL, guys, that we're going to use to actually log in to the back end of the website. So you always see this. It always says, congratulations, the software was installed successfully. And that way you know that the website is actually live. If you want to see what it looks like, just simply click on the link right here. And obviously it'll open up in another page. And we'll see what the website looks like live. Great. So this is the WordPress blog that we've installed, or how I should say the website itself that we've created using WordPress. This is the theme, guys, that we selected, right? And it's pretty cool. Looks really nice. The cool thing about Hostgator is they do give you free SSL certificates. You can also install them using another cool WordPress plugin. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about plugins shortly, but there's a really cool WordPress plugin. It's called Really Simple SSL, and I'll show you guys how to gain access to that going forward with future websites that you want to create. But you can see right here that Hostgator has already secured this website for me. In the event you don't see this padlock here, and it says like not secure there, that's when you would need to install the SSL certificate. And I'll show you guys how you can go about doing that later. But again, you can see that in just a few moments, guys, we were able to create a WordPress website using Hostgator. So tell me, guys, what you think about this so far. In this process, I wanted to keep things simple. If there's something that I missed or that you didn't hear right, you can always rewind or simply just drop your comments right below for me. And that way I can answer them in a very timely manner. So this is the theme itself, guys, that I've selected, for this. You can see there's a home page, there's a blog page, about page, contact page. And if you guys want to add like additional pages, like for your WordPress website, such as like services and the like, you can do that as well. And I'll show you how to do that in this tutorial. Okay, great. So what I want to do right now is I want to show you how to log into your website. That way you can actually start creating content and actually publishing it on the web. Okay, does that sound like a plan? Great. So this admin URL, that's right here, you want to click on it. And when you do, guys, it's just going to open up in another, browser. I always like to just open up, new links there. And being that we're already logged into this, it's just going to automatically log you into the backend. Okay, great. So this is what's called the dashboard of your WordPress website. It looks just like this, guys. If you've never seen a dashboard for WordPress, this is what you're getting. So you'll see several tabs on the sidebar here. And I'm going to show you guys, what you can do, with it. By default, Hostgator installs different plugins on your website. And we talked a little bit about plugins a little bit earlier, but I wanted to tell you more about them because, as I mentioned before, WordPress plugins are like apps for your phone. They give it more functionality. They allow your website to do things that you can't do, without it. So you do need plugins. You don't need too many of them. You just simply need a few that will allow you to do what you want to do on your website itself. So you'll see by default, guys, Hostgator has some plugins that are already pre-installed. Some are good, others are not. The ones that are not good, I'm going to tell you to delete today, right now. The very first one is this Hello Dolly. We don't need that at all, so we're just going to delete it. Ask-A-Mat Anti-Spam, it's a really great WordPress plugin that helps you to block spam. You can actually keep this if you want. If you do keep it, you have to link it to an account with Askamet where you're paying like $5 per month. So if you want to do that, you can with Askamet. If you want to do this the free way, I'm going to show you a really good WordPress plugin that you can download today. That's 100% free that'll do the same thing. Okay. So I like going about the free way. All right. So just delete that if you don't want it. Jetpack is really nice to help you to monitor like visits, on your website itself. And this is great, but I'm going to deactivate it because I don't want it on this particular blog itself. Great. And Mojo Marketplace, you can deactivate it. And again, you can, delete these. So if you want to just do like that, you can do them individually. Great. And Page Layer is it's a website builder itself, similar to WordPress. There are different types of web builders that are out there. There's Elementor, which is a very, very popular one that will allow you to create, WordPress websites, online. But you can deactivate this if you don't want to use it, or if you want to use it later on, you can, and that way you can use that in conjunction with other themes and really build out the website itself. Okay, but I've already showed you guys how to install WordPress on your actual domain name, so you're already like halfway there, guys. And so this right here, this is a plugin itself that I have on my websites. It's Sitekit by Google. Sitekit by Google allows you to basically connect your Google Analytics, your Search Console, as well as some other platforms all in one place to help you to monitor, visits that are coming to your website, what people are typing in. You have like a really nice dashboard that it just intertwines everything all in one place. So I don't have to go log into my Google Analytics or my Google Search Console. I can just get everything in one place and see it at a glance, which I really like that. So I already have this like pre-installed with my Google account, and also with the web hosting provider. So basically any website that I install going forward is going to automatically intertwine those, which is what I want. I can see it on any given website that I create online. It's really cool. Great. So anyway, what we're going to do right now is I want to show you some other WordPress plugins that I think you should install right now. One of which is Yoast. Now, we talked a little bit about SEO because Hostgator does offer an SEO, package where you pay for it. But I told you that you guys can gain access to a plugin that'll do that for you. So if you type in the word Yoast, guys, type in Yoast right now. There are a lot of SEO plugins that you'll have access to in your WordPress directory that we're accessing right now. Yoast is like the number one that's out there. There's Rank Math. There's another one. There's an all-in-one SEO plugin, but I just like Yoast. I love it because it helps with your different metrics, your keyword density. It tells you how many times you're mentioning a keyword in your actual post itself. If you're if you're mentioning it too much, or it's not enough, depending on like the length of your content, your content itself. So basically, it helps you every step of the way, guys, to be able to rank higher in the search engines. And so, if you're on Google, right now, and you were typing in something like how to create a WordPress website on Hostgator, or how to install WordPress on Hostgator, and you came across, my blog post on Learning That or this video, that's an example of the power that you really learn to have with Yoast. So Yoast is an all-around great plugin, guys, that I think every person should install on their websites itself. Another really great one that I like, it's called Broken Link Checker. Let me find that. Broken Link Checker. So this plugin right here, guys, that we are looking for, Broken Link Checker, is a really great plugin that I think you should install. The reason is because you may link out to other webmasters, other blogs that may have a relation or be correlated rather. And it may be the case that the webmaster updates their website. Maybe their permalink changes, and we're going to talk about those in just a moment. The permalink changes, and it creates what's called a broken link. And so broken links are bad because it could create a bad experience for your visitors. Clicking on a link that is no longer there, right? Could be discouraging, and it might even make them bounce off of your website and go to your competitor. So this is a really good plugin that I think you could install today that helps you to detect whenever you have broken links on your website. And it does like a 24/7 scan, of your website, and allows you to become aware whenever a link is broken on your site. Another really good plugin, just depending on what you guys are doing, if you want to have chat capability on your website, you can type in that word chat, and there are tons of plugins that allow you to do it. Just click the chat, WP Live Chat by 3CX. That's a new one that I'm not too familiar with, but the one that I like and have used is called Tidio. It's a really nice one. It has over 70,000 installations on it, 5 stars. So something I really look forward to, guys, is the stars. What's the rating of the plugin itself? It gives you a good idea if it'll pan out to be a really good plugin for you or not. Click the Chat is a great one. I've never used that, but it's a really good one that you guys could integrate should you decide that's for you. So I'm going to stop with plugins, but just keep in mind, guys, that with plugins, you want to pick out plugins that will allow you to do or perform the functions that you want to carry out on your website itself, if that makes sense. Okay, great. So now what we want to do is go over to our settings and bounce over to permalinks. We talked a little bit about permalinks itself. So if you go back to the example of the WordPress website that we created, this WordPress website, you can see that you have the home page, you have a blog page. You'll see that you have, and there's no content, on it, but we're gonna, I can show you how to do that. You have the About Me page. So basically the permalink would be whatever comes after the actual domain name itself. So in this case, we have wphosting101.com/ and about. The word about would be an example of the permalink. It'd be part of what the permalink is. So why do I go over this with you? Well, you should know that the simpler the permalink is, the easier it'll be for your visitors to remember them. And also, it said that it also helps with your SEO rankings itself. So you want to avoid like numbers or like, you'll see right here where it says plain and it has like numbers right there. I mean, nobody's going to remember several numbers, following the actual URL itself. I mean, but if you have something that's simple like post name, which is most recommended for permalinks, it's cleaner and it's simpler. And you can see like with this blog itself for WP Hosting 101, right? It just has about. It doesn't say like about /123/ and then several other things there. It's very simple, it's easy, and it picks up a lot better in the search engines itself. Another good reason to use post name versus numeric or month and name or day and name is that if you have a blog and you are putting out content, whether it's on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or once a month, if you have a permalink that's day and name, and let's say you publish this piece of content, and we're in 2020 right now. If you publish the content like in like 2010 or something, when somebody searches in Google or Yahoo or Bing, and they actually see in the permalink the actual year, they may think that the information is outdated, right? And you obviously don't want that, because if it looks or appears with the permalink that the information is outdated, they may not want to click, on your link itself. But you can always update, your content, your WordPress post, online, simply just using post name, and the person will never know that it was created, on X date. And so that's why I don't use that. I only use post name. And I just wanted to tell you, just take out a few moments just to explain, why is it that I use that over others. Let's click on appearance and go to themes, guys. And when you do that, we've already selected a theme for this particular, WordPress blog. HostGator gave us the option to do that with several that appeared, before. They were like some premium type, themes itself, which is great. But if you want to change your WordPress theme, you can do that by going to the sidebar where it says themes. So when you do that, guys, you'll see themes that are already pre-installed on your WordPress blog. That happens with every new installation of WordPress, so don't be alarmed by it. If you want to see what the actual theme itself looks like, you can click on where it says live preview. And when you do that, it's just going to show you what the blog post, what the actual website will look like with that particular WordPress theme. And if you want to go with that, if you want to change it, you can hit activate and then publish. And basically what it's going to allow you to do is to go with that particular theme itself. So what you want to do, guys, in this case, if you want to see what a theme itself would look like, all you have to do is click on live preview, and it'll show you guys what that particular theme looks like with that with your website. And if you want to use it, you can just simply click on activate, and then from that point, you'll see that very theme on your website itself. If you guys are into different industries, you may be into fitness, you may be into whatever it is. When you click on themes itself, guys, you'll see different categories: feature, popular, latest, favorites, and so on. And if you drop down, you'll see a lot of some WordPress themes that you can select from. If you want to find something that's more specific, because literally there are well over 11,000 WordPress themes that you can select from. Let's say that you guys are into fitness, as I mentioned that example before. You type in fitness, and what do you get here? Well, you'll see different WordPress themes that are centered around fitness. So if you're into fitness, working out, you have a gym, your personal trainer, you can select that theme, one of these themes, whichever one you want. You can leave these pictures or these images in there. You can upload your own pictures. That way people can see you working out and training people. You guys get the idea, with this, right? So that's basically how that would work, with that. If you typed in something like photography, let's say you are a photographer and you want to create a WordPress blog around photography, and you want to upload maybe weddings, pictures of weddings, and content, centered around that. Type in the word photography. And again, you can see what you get. You have some free themes that you can select from that are centered around photography, right? So these are really cool. And again, if you want to see what it looks like, hit preview and then install if you want to use that particular WordPress theme. So that's pretty much how themes works, guys. It allows you to, again, select any theme that you want and to really personalize it, customize it, and make it, to your liking itself. And so tell me, guys, what you think about this HostGator WordPress tutorial so far. Are you guys following me on this? Do you have questions about, what we're doing? If so, drop your comments, right below, and I'll be sure to respond to you guys in a very timely manner. If you want to create a post on your website itself, you have right here where it says, guys, you will see a list of posts that you have on your WordPress website. Of course, we created this WordPress website just a few moments ago, so we don't have any WordPress posts on it. But if you did have some, then you will see a list of them right here. If you want to edit a post that you currently have, just simply click on edit. Simply click on edit. And it's going to allow you to do just that. And you're going to see, basically, it's going to load the post that you have. And by default, you will always see hello world as the very first post installed on your WordPress website. You will see it, just like that, guys. So that is what that looks like. If you guys want to add a post, just simply click on Add New. And you would do the same process, guys, if you wanted to add new pages, on it. So by default, with this WordPress installation that we have a home page, we have a blog page, an about page. It could be like an about me or about your company, a contact page where you can set up um, your contact info, how people will, communicate with you, whether it be via email or it's through like a phone number, however it is that you want people to contact you. And by default, this information is here with this installation, but of course, you can change that and personalize it to whatever it is that you want, when it comes to people, contacting you guys. And so right here is how you will go about. You'll put like your title for your post itself, and your content would actually be right down here. And once you finish writing your content itself, proofreading it, making it, like you want it, then you guys are going to hit the publish button. And from there, it'll be live, on your website itself. And the same is true, when creating, pages. You can see all the pages that you have. If you want to add a new page itself, then what you're going to see is this very page right here that's popping up. You can add the title of the page. It might be, again, like a services page, or it might be just another page that you want to include, on your website itself. And once you type in the title of that page and your content right here where it says start writing or type, just follow it step by step. You don't need any experience with HTML or coding or nothing like that. You can just type in your content there, and when it's all done and you proofread it and it looks good, then you guys can publish it and it'll be live, on your website itself. And so what I wanted to do, guys, in this video tutorial is briefly to share with you, which we did, how to install WordPress on Hostgator. We've done that. I've showed you how to get a domain name. I showed you how to purchase your web hosting. We talked briefly about like the appearance of your actual blog itself with themes, and also selecting plugins, how they help with the functionality of your website itself. And so basically with the plugins, as we talked, before, again, I don't have too many. I think typically with my sites online, I usually have about 7 more or less. But I think, WordPress in itself, it allows you to do so much that you don't really need to add like too many, right? And so just think about the overall function that you would like your website to perform. And what you would do is simply you type in that keyword and you'll see a list of plugins that will go hand in hand with that particular function, guys. So I just wanted to, again, share with you guys, how to, create WordPress websites. As you guys saw today, it was pretty simple to do it, right? Get your web hosting, you get your domain name. You need those two things to really get your website off to a really great start. You install WordPress, on it. And by the way, there's several different CMS platforms that you can use. WordPress is just one of them. There's a Joomla, there's Drupal, there's PrestaShop, all of which function about the same way. You would install those same CMS platforms in the same way, following the same steps that we did today, guys, and you'll be able to create your very own website. So really from this point, guys, it's really just a matter of personalizing it and really just adding your content, publishing WordPress, posts going forward on your blog post, on your website itself. And from that point, just, promoting it and sharing it with the world. And so, again, I wanted to do this brief HostGator WordPress tutorial to show you guys how to install WordPress on your domain name itself and to actually create and launch your very own website within a few short moments, guys. So tell me what you think about this video overall. Did you like it? Did you find value, with it? Are there some other things that you would like to learn about perhaps on the next video? let me know right below in the comments area of this video, and that way I'll be sure to put up another video to help you guys with that, okay? If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. Also, share this video with others online. That way they too can learn about this. And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, guys, as I really appreciate your support going forward on this LearningNet channel. I hope you guys have much success in your endeavors of creating your websites, not only in 2020, but going forward. Take care and make it a great day.